everybody, I'm Tara from Crooked Row, and today we're going to talk about garlic. Now, back behind me is a beautiful, beautiful bed of garlic. We have had good years with garlic and we've had really bad years with garlic, and I kind of wanted to share some of the things that I have learned. Really one big one, and that is cutting the, I guess they call them bulbules, but it is the stalk that starts to grow up. Let me show you. So this right here is a scape. They call them scapes actually. And I'm just going to go through, and the middle garlics in here are the ones that have them. These outside ones don't. But this is just this one bed. I have like 3 other places where we're growing garlic, actually 4. And I have to cut all of these. Now, what this is it's just the flower stalk of the garlic that is growing. And they actually produce a pretty little, sometimes it's white, sometimes it's purple flower that comes up. But we don't want the plant wasting its energy on this flower. We want to cut that so that all the energy goes down into the bulb. But there was I had a year where I had forgotten about the scapes, but also I was like, it doesn't really matter. It actually did for us. So the ones that didn't send up the flower stalk, they were okay. But the ones that did, and I left them on, they did flower and they were pretty, but they also, my bulbs were really, really tiny. So, but after I've done a good nitrogen soak, I might hit them with some Garden Tone from Espoma, or just, you know, something that's a very like normal garden fertilizer. But other than that, making sure they have enough water, but not too much. Like my garlic over back behind me that is actually planted in the ground, we have some yellow tops over there, and I think it's getting too much water because the row right below it that is also the same garlic, it doesn't have yellow tops. So I think that top row, it's at a slight hill over there, and I'll show you because I'm gonna have to go over there and cut too. It's green, it's all green. So I think that first row is just getting pelted with water, and so the tops are a little bit yellow. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go through all my beds and I'm gonna cut off the bulbule. So let's get started. So the only thing that I need for this is some handy dandy scissors that my father-in-law bought me. And let me show you, let me bring it in. So I go down to the lowest part possible, which is right here. And so I'm gonna trace this down so that you can actually see it. I'm gonna go down, let me move this. Okay, as far down as I can get it. Snip. Okay, so here you have it. And there is where I cut, and now I have this row to go through. I finished that, and I wanted to point something out. these they're more bulby than the other scapes that I cut. If there's wind, I'm sorry. There's not a whole lot I can do about it. Blame God. These all came from my elephant garlic, and so I noticed that they are much bulbier than what came from my other garlics, besides the all of them were like the bulk. I'll show you in just a second. So I have these. I'm going to put their cut ends in a mason jar filled with water. And now be careful, because these will flower if you don't use them right away. But we will use them in the next couple of days. I'll put them in almost everything. I love to eat them fresh. They have an oniony, garlicky taste to them. I mean, right now, even my hands, it's not strong garlic. It's almost like an onion flavor or smell. And it kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know, walking into a pizzeria. But I'm gonna do the same thing with these. See how these are just so much different, and they have a little, let me put that in, a little bump right there, but then it kind of comes up to, it's very slender. And so all of these can be used. Really, even the flowers can be used. I have seen people, we eat all of them. I don't have to worry about preserving them. We put them in omelets and casseroles, and you can even chop them up and put them in hamburgers and all sorts of anything you would put onions and garlic in, you can chop these up and put these in. Now, if you're going to use the bottom part, which is completely edible, it has a little more of an asparagus texture. So like, let's say that you made meatloaf and you put these in, which would be perfect to put in. As I'm sitting here thinking about it, I might do that tonight. But anyway, I have seen people on YouTube who just have too much that they wouldn't be able to use, and so they'll go ahead and chop them up and put them in a Ziploc and then kind of squeeze all the air out of them and freeze them. And that is completely acceptable as well. I have seen people who just kind of put them in a moist paper towel and put them in a Ziploc and put them in the refrigerator. That'll keep them a little bit longer than putting them in the water. Now, if you just leave them out, it's like any other flower. They are going to wilt and die. So you might get a day or two out of them with doing nothing, but they're going to lose flavor too. So you kind of want to make them still feel like they're on the plant, and put them in kind of the coziest environment ever. And actually, I have so many of these this year. I mean, look at this already. I might cook with a bunch this week, but I actually might chop some and freeze some this time, because this is a lot. Let me get through this and I'll show you what I got. Okay, so here are the ones from my, I guess these are hardnecks. Is it hardnecks that produce these, or softnecks? I think it's hardnecks. And here is from my elephant garlic. I have, this is packed. I mean, they both are, but this is a wide mouth jar, and this is absolutely packed full. And again, guys, it's food. So why not get 2 big harvests from your garlic also? And if it's gonna be in place, you can put this in salads. I think that they make a really cute garnish. I mean, you wouldn't have put the entire stalk in, but you can, there's so many things to do with things like this. But I think it's also important to not just utilize them, but remember that by cutting them, you are also making your garlic bulbs bigger. Now, if you don't cut them and you have great garlic, we didn't. So we have to cut ours, and it did make a huge difference. And you can look below, actually look through our videos. I have several garlic videos, especially harvesting ones. We like to have kind of a contest every year to see who can, whose row had the biggest garlic out of it. And so a lot of times we have a contest, or I think last year we didn't do a contest. We just kind of collected the garlic, and I was showing you how we dry them and what we do. But if you want big bulbs, if you're having trouble and you're not cutting these, that might be something that you might want to try. So remember, if we can cut all of our garlic scapes and use them, anybody can. Thanks.